Hello, welcome to this video where I'm going to showcase a set of battles between two players from the Sylph World Competition for factions. 8 teams from each region, LATAM, North America, Europe and APAC, have qualified for this tournament to become the best faction in the world. And we'll probably see different battles every week, different metas. Can't say it right now because this video is pre-recorded, but let's take a look at this matchup that we have right here now. The next matchup we're going to have is again in the Echo field. We have here on the left LNDsRargef, and on the right we have Reis2Occasion. LNDsRargef probably not a name that everyone knows right away when you're talking about good battlers, but he is one of the best performers in LATAM, and he's also the first person to qualify for Worlds in LATAM or just in the whole world. So LNDsRargef is a name that is, you can tell by his shirt, of course. He's a regionals winner. He is really good. And on the right, probably a name everyone knows, a content creator and one of the most successful players in North America. You could say it's easier to qualify in North America because it's more regionals, but Reis has been very good in multiple of them. Let's take a look at the achievements here of these players before you go into the matchups. So again, LNDsRargef, not the most well-known player, at least not in Europe or North America as the uncultured European that I am, but he has some really good achievements. Take a look here. The first one was Join Field. So Zardy won this one and LNDsRargef got to top 5 here. Unfortunately, that was not enough to qualify for Worlds, so LNDsRargef did not make it there. I couldn't find anything from his performance there either, unfortunately. I think he made Twitter quite late. However, the 2023 season started really strong for LNDsRargef because the first LATAM regional in 2023, LNDsRargef swept it. He won Porto Alegre and qualified for Worlds doing so. So he will be in Yokohama as well. Then at the LAIC, the biggest Latin America tournament to date. This one was sold out really quick. I honestly think it could have had over 200 participants, but it had only 128, which was huge at that point. He got to top 4 here and basically qualified twice for Worlds because at an international championship, the top 4 qualifies for Worlds. So really strong performance. This tournament is the one JW Naldo won, his opponent in the small video you see on the right side. And then we see Sao Paulo, also a very big regional. I think this had 238 players or so, which was huge. Only shows how much passion there is for Pokemon Go PvP in the LATAM region. And he got to top 6 in this tournament. Really good achievement here. Now, that was LNDsRargef. Let's take a look at his opponent, Reis2Occasion. So, Reis, a very well-known player as a content creator, but also very successful in play Pokemon tournaments and in grassroots formats. We're going to take a look at his play Pokemon achievements here. In 2022, he won the Milwaukee Regional, which was a little bit of a controversial one. However, after getting swept in the first grand finals round against Doonbug won 3-0, but then in the bracket reset, Reis barely won 3-2. Reis versus Doonbug is an absolute classic. And in Milwaukee, he won it all to qualify for Worlds in London. And in London, he didn't get a stream performance, but he did get to the 9th place in this very stacked tournament here. So really good performance as well. Let's take a look at the 2023 season. Reis had a lot of difficulties here qualifying for Worlds. It started in Arlington where he got close. He got to 3rd place here. Now, I qualified with 3rd place in Worlds because an invite cascaded down. The Miweedle who won Stuttgart already was qualified. So, but in this tournament, that was not the case. So 3rd place only gets a medal, and Reis was 2-0 up in the losers final that he needed to win to qualify. He was 2-0 up against Doonbug, and Doonbug won 3-2 in the end. So a very painful one for Reis2Occasion. The next one, Orlando. Reis got to 5th place here. He was very unlucky here because as you see here in this matchup, he only needs to throw a Sky Attack, but he accidentally throws Shadow Ball and he gets knocked out by J-Mills in the losers semis here. Has a really good run in Orlando as well. I think one of the most stacked North American regionals with about 120 participants, but only gets to 5th place. Again, barely not getting there. Then in February, there is Knoxville. Knoxville was during the home tour, so many PvP players expected less players here or competitors because of the home tour that many Go players wanted to play. This tournament, however, still had like 90 participants, still a lot. Reis won here the winners finals against Ani and Frank to qualify for Worlds, and then beat Dijon de Gien in the grand finals to even earn the travel award. And that is how we will see Reis2Occasion in Yokohama. Very good performances here. Now, let's take a look at this matchup. Alright, so looking at the matchup here in the Echo field. Again, not going too much into the meta itself, but it is show 8, ban 2. And two things that stand out to me here is the Ferrothorn from LNDsRargef. It's looking really good against that double water and the Alolan Ninetales. With Mirror Shot, it really destroys that core. I remember, I played a lot in Ultra League. And Reis is actually not playing Cresselia. Most people playing Echo Field do run Cresselia. Reis is not. Let's take a look at what these players are banning from each other. We see that LNDsRargef banned the Umbreon and the Alolan Sandslash from Reis. And looks like Reis banned the Sableye and the Umbreon from LNDsRargef, which is interesting to me. I think that LNDsRargef here tries to make his Cresselia much stronger, right? Because now it's no longer hard-walled. It doesn't have great matchup against Galvantula or Gliscor, but they're not bad. And neither is Jellicent if you run Grass Knot. So Cresselia has a lot of play for LNDsRargef now. On top of that, the only hard count to Alolan Ninetales was the Alolan Sandslash, so that also frees up Alolan Ninetales for LNDsRargef. And Reis did not ban Ferrothorn, so 3 of his Pokemon are threatened by Ferrothorn now. You kind of need to bring Galvantula and maybe even the Gliscor, but they both don't do well against Alolan Ninetales. So I think it's a very tough matchup for Reis2Occasion here. But these two are really good players. One of the best in LATAM, one of the best in the US. Let's take a look at game number 1 here. We have Cresselia into Jellicent. Let's take a look at these movesets. That's a slow moveset. That's Confusion from LNDsRargef. Interesting. I'm not sure if that wins you this matchup or at all. I think if you land one Grass Knot, you can probably double shield Cresselia and farm completely down. Looks like this Shadow Ball goes unshielded on that Cresselia and does massive damage. I reckon that Reis might... Oh, actually preserves the Jellicent without a doubt. This would do about 40... I would think 40% or so. Jellicent's quite bulky. Cresselia is quite bulky. Let's take a look here. Farming it completely down. This is massive for Reis. And the backline doesn't really like the moves that Jellicent can throw at it either. First, Alolan Ninetales comes in, and it's going to take a Shadow Ball right to the face. No shield on it. It's also running Charm, and that makes sense, right? Because there's nothing that resists Fairy on Reis' team after the Alolan Sandslash was banned. Unfortunately, also the Umbreon was banned, which is basically a target for Alolan Ninetales, but that does free up your Cresselia. So I guess it has merit to it. Reis is still looking in a really good spot here. But that Quagsire is quite tough for the backline here, because the Galvantula doesn't do great against it, and Deoxys doesn't really have a great matchup either, because the only charge attack you can throw is debuffing your attack. Weather Ball coming through and then swapping into Water Gun Quagsire. I love LNDsRargef already. He is... I like to toy with my movesets, and I just see the same with LNDsRargef here. Water Gun Quagsire. I have no idea what this changes, but I do like it, because with Mud Bomb, you have a very fast charge attack now, but it doesn't do that much damage. And with Water Gun, you just have a little bit more fast attack pressure here, so I kind of like that. Mud Bomb coming through. He was building to an Earthquake, but Reis is not falling for that. It's only the Mud Bomb. Doesn't do that much damage. But Water Gun, I reckon, is so much better against Deoxys, because you deal damage faster in time. And what does that do for you? Deoxys has very little HP, so let's say your Mudshot does 1 damage and your Water Gun does 1 damage. You do 2 Water Guns in a time of 1 Mudshot, so you do double the damage. Hypothetically speaking, I don't know how much damage these attacks do out of the top of my head, but just for example, because that's what even makes Registeel lock-ons add up. Let's see, I think Reis has it if he goes for that Rock Slide here, but oh no, he doesn't! He doesn't push for it! No! Oh, that's so unfortunate, because I don't think this quadruple debuff Deoxys is going to KO that Alolan Ninetales. It does not. And swapping in the Galvantula, allowing it to farm down. Oh my goodness. And Galvantula, or sorry, Alolan Ninetales hanging up with 1 HP. I think you could have reached that Rock Slide there. That's very unfortunate for Reis. and giving that little bit of extra farm for the LN9 to reach the weather ball against Galvantula, that really, really hurt. Yeah, these are some of the best battles. So if you make a slight mistake, Rargef will take it. And we saw it right there. Well, he didn't need to do much. Reis kind of didn't throw rock slides and, you know, but it was a close battle regardless. Rargef was in a very tough spot here, but recovered with that water gun Quagsire. Let's take a look at game number 2 here. We have LNDsRargef into Deoxys. This is, I would say, a decent matchup for Reis, especially considering that backline, right? Because Galvantula does not do well against Charm. LNDsRargef, Glyceco has to build all the way up to Earthquakes to actually threaten it. And you have here Deoxys with counter and rock slides, which is great. Rargef is not in a great spot here because he has the Ferrothorn in the back, so he can't even switch out of this matchup. Weather ball coming in, tickles Deoxys, which is best buddy, by the way. That's kind of cool, I guess. And going for another rock slide, not debuffing himself, probably trying to hurt the next Pokemon that's Rargef will bring in. It does go unshielded here. Yeah, and coming in with that Confusion Cresselia. This is scary. Look at those Confusions chunking on Galvantula. You have to throw this lunge immediately to stop it. Stop that damage. It does too much. Super effective lunge. Does a nice 40%. Not too much. Is this a Grass Knot? Yeah, he threw a Grass Knot here. It's a little bit cheaper than Moonblast. Definitely resisted, but reckons that Galvantula's Reis puts a shield on Galvantula anyway to stop this Cresselia. It's too dangerous. Do you shield this? This will, yeah. That's a tough choice. If you don't shield this, Galvantula will debuff your last Pokemon. If you do shield it, you use your shield on a Pokemon that doesn't have a lot of use anymore. And looks like Reis is planning on debuffing that last Pokemon. I'm not sure how necessary it is, but in case it was at Quagsire, you really need to. Yeah, it is the Ferrothorn here. Launch is coming in. You're just going to debuff this over and over. And let's see if... oh, it swaps immediately. I think Reis is one Volt Switch off another lunge even, so he's in a really good spot here. This is an iffy matchup. It's a very neutral, I would say slightly favorable for Ferrothorn actually, because you throw same type attack bonus moves more consistently, right? With all grass that you're throwing here. Night Slash coming in. Good call by Rargef, but it doesn't really matter, I think. There's still a little bit of Deoxys as well on Reis' side. Deoxys doesn't take much bullet seed damage, so it still can get a couple counters in. So I like this play from Reis, just going straight Night Slash, throw it immediately, just play it safe. And at this point, I think Rargef needs about 3 mirror shots to win the game. I don't think he can make that here. Let's see, he is at 1 mirror shot here. I mean, in fact, I think mirror shot's not even going to take out here. Yeah, Rargef knows. I think mirror shot will take out the next Pokemon coming in. Both Pokemon are, I believe, in mirror shot range. Deoxys might not be actually. Swapping into Cresselia right away. Probably trying to catch potential lunge if Rargef thought that Reis had one, but he didn't. And with both Pokemon even on low HP, Reis is able to take that game, to take this to 1-1. Reis is a player, probably the most, the player with the most achievements in play Pokemon in the US, and he's not giving up here against Rargef. Let's take a look at game number 3. Is very crucial because the matchup between Magnus and Stadium Elite was very, very close at this stage. Let's take a look. Alolan Ninetales into Jellicent, an Ultra League Classic, but this is Great League. So these Pokemon are a little bit more fragile. They have less HP. First Shadow Ball coming in. Let's see if Rargef shields his no shield right away. Will do a lot of damage. Puts this Alolan Ninetales about 30%. You do live a Psy Shock. Yeah, looks like Rargef tried to get the charge attack priority on the Surf, but Reis not falling for that. Psyshock coming in, but you don't get the 2 charge attack here, so you might as well throw the Shadow Ball. Go for the Surf, but it's called Cresselia! Oh no, this is... Oh, that's so unfortunate for Reis, because if he threw the Shadow Ball here, it would have done a big, massive chunk of damage on that Cresselia. Right, it would have been super effective. Bringing in that Deoxys, and this is tough for Reis. And the reason why, he doesn't know there's Ferrothorn in the back, right? He doesn't know. He brings his Deoxys in Cresselia. Usually not a great matchup because Cresselia usually wins that. But because it's Confusion, it gets slower to those charge, the neutral charge attacks that makes it usually good against Deoxys. With Psycho Cut, you get really quick to those moves, thus you beat it. But now you're not that great against Deoxys because as you can see, The counters don't really add up, neither do the confusions. And look at that, 1 HP Moonblast. This is actually crucial, because this will make it easier for the Ferrothorn, even for the Alolan Ninetales to get maybe a few more charms in. Yeah, this might be Mirror Shot range. I mean, Ferrothorn is still going to take a lot of damage here, though. Take a look. What does Rargef bring in here? Brings in the Ferrothorn, actually. Not going into the Alolan Ninetales. Psycho Boost coming in. Both charge attacks that Deoxys can throw are resisted. In fact, every charge attack you can throw is resisted here because of the steel and the grass combination here. Going for the mirror shot here. Reis knows it's not a flash cannon. It's a mirror shot. Still does 50% damage because both ice and fairy suck against steel. They take super effective damage from that. Going for the weather ball on the alignment. Probably was afraid of a charge attack priority, so he may not be able to get his move off, but Rargef knows that he also would lose the charge attack priority, so he doesn't throw, sneaks an extra bullet seed, goes for another mirror shot here. No shield from Reis, realizing there's more of those mirror shots, and this just looks unwinnable at this point. Even though you have super effective counters still, there's still a little bit of the Alolan Ninetales, which I believe has some energy as well, and you're so close to 2 mirror shots here. Impossible. I think even with a catch, you get charmed down probably. Mirror shot coming in. No attack drop. And another one, and that decides the game here. That means that Rargef beats Reis2Occasion by 2-1. I feel like Reis could have won a few more of these battles. If he threw that Shadow Ball into the Cresselia, his Deoxys would have come out so much more healthy in the Cresselia matchup. Would have had more HP. Could have maybe taken on that Ferrothorn more comfortably. I'm not saying he would have won per se, but it definitely would have been closer. And in the other match, also... yeah, Rargef is just making good plays, and if Reis then doesn't throw the rock slide where he threw the Psycho Boost, that's unfortunate. That happens to the best of us. It really does happen to the best of us. That was Reis2Occasion. I still think he's one of the best players. I still will be very afraid of him at Worlds in Yokohama. I'm pretty sure that Rargef will be as well. I hope you liked the video. These players played very well, and I wish them the best of luck in their next bouts. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.